Hey, so look, a couple weeks ago, I started seeing the Heavy is the Head project on the way by Ransom, exclusively produced by Big Ghost LTD. And looking at the track listing and the theme being, the world of Westeros with Game of Thrones. And then hearing the album mixing in a little bit of Conan lore and whatnot. You know, it's 8 joints, 2 interludes. And Rand, I hate to say the dude is boring, and sully the man's reputation and his name and whatnot. But, I mean, the dude comes out and gives you like 30 and 12 and 7, every 2 or 3 months, or if not once a month. So let's dig into the album, man. Heavy is the Head. Hey, thanks for pressing play on another Pay Me No Mind sports and entertainment video. My name is Wood. Please consider becoming a subscriber to the channel if you like the way any of the information or the topics are being presented, reviewed, analyzed, broken down, etc., etc., etc. Leave a comment, share the video to your circle, help the community start to grow. Hit the like button, rock with me in some shape, form, or fashion. Sometimes I look at the view times on videos and it's like 15 seconds or, 45 seconds for 20 viewers or something. I don't know. So I'm not trying to hold people up, unnecessarily. It's Ransom and it's Big Ghost LTD, one of the best dudes in this lane of hip hop. The album is fire. I think consistency-wise, Heavy is the Head is the project, by the way. 10 tracks, 2 interludes. I think consistency-wise, this album might be a little stronger than If It Bleeds, It Can Be Killed, the joint project earlier in the year at the top of 2021 with Conway the Machine. That's just my opinion. I think this album is, like I say, it's consistent or strong throughout the whole album in terms of the boards. And then, to keep it a buck or to speak on that further, I think Big Ghost LTD has my favorite track, still has my #1 track of the year with Kill All Rats with Ransom, Conway the Machine, and Rome Streets, who makes an appearance here on Heavy is the Head. So, Big Ghost is continuing to do his thing and put out these very dope records, man. I love the Ghost Albizu joint last year with UFO Feeve. I think that was all him. Danger was probably my production-wise, might have been my track of the year for 2020. But getting into this, I started seeing the videos on Ransom social media pages a couple weeks back. They had the really ill video or edit with the flames or whatever floating around. Ran with the crown on, and Heavy is the Head that lies the crown, or whatever the saying is. And then, like I said, you swipe to the left or whatever and saw what the track listing was. And it's a heavy theme of Game of Thrones subject matter with the Red Wedding, King's Landing, which is just an interlude, Blackwater, and then Lord Stark is the leadoff joint. All the King's Men might have been a episode title or whatever, but we also get into some Conan the Barbarian themes, in my opinion, with Ransom the Destroyer, which is track #3. So I don't really have to speak on each track's production. All of it is high-level stuff, courtesy of Big Ghost. I really love how he was able to stay in the pocket sound-wise. I think it's this aesthetic that he created with the songs that he, with the tracks that he put together. It's a lot of DNA. The DNA is strong that brings each track together to make this project sound very consistent And that's one of the dope aspects of Big Ghost LTD's game, in my opinion. He gave me a little bit of the guitar. He usually finds some very ill guitar, bluesy kind of stuff. He finally gave that, came through with that on the Blackwater track. But the album is like, it's serious. It's not really dark to me. Really, it's not even that straightforward hustler or the streets or whatever. It's just very serious and pairs very well with what Ransom does here lyrically. Let's jump into it. I'm already at 4 minutes. Lord Stark, excellent starting point for the album. I love when he gets into this, something about doing what he's doing, how he's resurrected his career. The last year and a half, you know, killing it with the EP game, 6 or 7 songs, maybe even as few as 4 sometimes. But he says something about prove it. That's like what they told Noah before it started raining. I love this other thing in here, this other bar that says something about just because we came from dirt doesn't mean that we have to amount to it. Early in the joint, he has something about I don't stretch. Before I play or something, I just destroy joints. Nice little entendre right there and whatnot. It's time to sit back and just listen to this. What Justin Hunt of AFH, Ambrosia for Heads, has coined as connoisseur rap. This is like the upper echelon of that subgenre of the genre, in my opinion. We get into track 2, All the King's Men. This Mickey Fax cat, I've been meaning to tap into his catalog recently on a lot of my my bike rides that I've been doing. And I haven't listened to a whole project just yet, but he got on my radar kind of being a part of the whole discussion that was going on maybe a week and a half ago with Royce the 5'9", challenging dudes and talking his shit. And Mickey Fax, like I said, I didn't even know this cat. He might be from Chicago, maybe. I might have that wrong. But I know he has a project coming out in the next, maybe it's in August, that I'm interested in checking that one out. But I had plenty of time to go back and dig into Mickey Fax's catalog. He has a great verse here. Had this ill line about Catherine Zeta, turning down chicks who look like Catherine Zeta or something. But this also is, I believe this is a Momentum artist, which is, Momentum is Ransom's imprint or label. And both of these guys, Mickey Fax and JR, A3 Rs, both of them have very dope verses. Mickey Fax, though, is probably more of a standout, in my opinion. You know, all of that multi-syllabic or syllabic or whatever the word is, just, it's, I hate, what I hate about a lot of hip hop, man, is celebrating stuff that's really subpar or average to me, or just dumb. I really don't celebrate dumb shit and ignorant shit. And listening to the vocabulary of some of these guys, the entendres, you know, the scheme, the rhyme schemes and all of that stuff, I loved it. So all the King's Men is fire. Ransom the Destroyer, always. You know, there's not a better advocate for boxing, for the sweet science, than Ransom. He says something about in here about more, they tried to box me in, something. Al Heyman. Al Heyman, one of the most prominent figures in all of boxing right now, being an advisor to many of the sport's top names, has Spence and Pacquiao on the way. We just saw that the Wilder and Fury trilogy just got postponed to October. Wilder is, you know, is under that PBC banner, Premier Boxing Champions and whatnot. Also right here with this Ransom the Destroyer joint, I really love how the horns kind of really, some of the usage of the horns and some of the samples, obviously the interlude themes with the, that's kind of like from Conan the Barbarian, in my opinion. But the horns and some of the sounds in here really give you this sword. It's a movie genre I joke about with my younger brother. I call it the sword, shield, armor, and horse genre, which is exactly what Game of Thrones was. King Arthur, Conan, back in the day, the Beastmaster with Mark Singer was another one. endless, you know, endless titles in that subgenre. The next joint, The Red Wedding, features RJ Payne, a dude making a lot of noise right now. He was in that discussion about, I think it was him that came out and said him and Ransom are the best two dudes making albums right now. Hard to argue against that. I love in here, you know, with Ransom, he has this bar about if you don't address the wounds from your past, then they'll continue to bleed. It might be a kind of a straightforward line, but for me, it's not. Wounds don't actually have to be literally bleeding, but if you don't address your pride, Rand is always kind of coaching and encouraging us, his listeners, to like fight your fight, and not only fight your fight, but win, be a conqueror, defeat this shit. You know, if you really tap into his stuff, man, you really can take his messages and some of his gems to heart and act on them. But yeah, he said if you don't address the wounds from the past, you know, they'll continue to bleed. I got a lot of people in my circles who do that. I'm guilty of it myself sometimes, but I think I am actively working on that stuff. He also had this bar in there, something about, I can't remember the bar before, but it all set it off though, but gets into something. He was saying like, I'm into the scripture and I got a little bit of the scripture that I keep with me, but because of the environment that produced me, you know, I'm dark as the shades on the Secret Service. I really like that little bar right there. And then we get into our first interlude at track 5. He comes back out of that with Tyranny. I love this bar. He says, you know, when they throw you shade, throw the sun at them. Best thing you can do for the poor is to not be one of them. And the bar before that was throw the sun at them. And then best thing you can do for the poor is not be one of them. That's one way to look at it. But I do think, you know, healthier and more stable people in a community who are better off individually lead to a stronger community. I mean, that's simple logic right there. He also has this joint in here, something about I'm pressed to be Superman, but I'm still in the lowest lane, lowest. You know, he does this thing with these movies, with the movie references. Comes back and has another bar about something about Deshaun Watson. Let the Texans text in. You see what he's doing here. I don't have to point this stuff out to you. Then comes Blackwater. Blackwater might be one of my top 2 joints on here. I think Rome Streets really does what he does. And I don't know if I did a review of the Rome Streets album, which was produced by DJ Muggs. I'm not the biggest DJ Muggs fan per se, but I'm not trying to slight Muggs. He's been in the game for decades, years. But his beats just I don't know, man. He's just not one of the guys whose music I really connect with. And I was trying to give Streets or Rome more spin, but I just felt like what he does would fit with a different producer so much better and bring out what he's doing with the pen and the pad and the mic. And he does that well on here, really following up his feature from Kill All Rats. But here on this track is where I do get some of that blues guitar on the production from Big Ghost LTD. I love how Rome comes in and says something about the fake dudes or the lesser skills, something, try to copy my cadence, something greatness is what I do with these loose leaf pages. That whole little run in there is Rome working his magic. Oh, and then he says something you dudes doodle and don't do nothing creative. Check it out. He does it way better than me, obviously. But Rome Streets he continues to come out and hold his own against some of the bigger names. I'm interested to see what this Future Wave, I think, is the producer. Maybe he's out of Canada, but they have a project coming out in the next few weeks. I really want to see how that producer's sound works with what Rome does. Off With His Head. This features Lou from Paradise. I've seen that name. I saw, I don't know if he's on Momentum on the label, part of Ransom's team or whatnot, but he kind of reminds me of Mac Miller in a way, in a way. Then the veteran Vinny Paz is on there, Ill Bill. I love this line in here, something about Al and I, some alibi from Ransom. He also says one of my favorite quotes. You've heard Black Widow say it in a Marvel movie, but continue to play stupid games and win stupid prizes. Take that line to heart. You know, if you continue to do and go along with what I was just saying with stupid shit, you continue to support and enable dumb shit, stupid shit, you will continue to reap the benefits of doing so. It's guaranteed. Play stupid games and win stupid prizes. But again, in here with a lot of the lyrics from this track, man, this is like intelligent people speaking, man. I mean, well thought out stuff, strong statements, stuff to move you forward in your life if you apply it in certain ways, even though it might be, you know, born from the streets and street activity and street mentality and that type of mindset. I love that record. We get to the second interlude to come to King's Ransom to close it out. I'm going to keep it a buck. This is probably the weakest song on the album for me. And usually when you get to the outro or to, you know, the finale, for a long time in hip hop, that last joint is usually reserved for one that's truly fire. Here, I just think this track was kind of mediocre. Definitely compared to the... Now, mediocre for Big Ghost LTD is high level for some other people. It's not a horrible song. I just think it might be the weakest song on the project, in my opinion. I love another thing, and I'll get off my preaching in my soapbox. One thing that Rand does on here that I like is you know, and it might be a reflection or a product of his age. But Rand doesn't waste a lot of time referring to women in very negative ways. Bitch this, the bitch that, these bitches, hoes, you know, I got some top. He doesn't really waste a lot of time taking shots at some of our most vulnerable or our most easily influenced and all of that type of stuff. But here he says something about, you know, I play with my wenches, but something, I put them to the side when it's time to lay with my empress. So he's not, you know, he's not perfect. You know, he's not making faith-based hip-hop or nothing. It is Rand. But like I said, he spends a lot of time really on message, you know, for what he talks about. Like I said, with him kind of being shunned at a point in his career and seemingly some people not being vocal about what he's doing and how he has emerged as one of the top dudes doing this thing. He stays on message with overcoming, in short. And also what's dope about this is I really get ready to get out of here, man. We just got 7, 4 weeks ago, 3.5 weeks ago or something, which was 7 joints. I didn't do a review on that one. Hell, messing around between Conway, Benny, and Rand, that would be all of the reviews that I do here on I'm sorry, my podcast. On Pay Me No Mind. So that's it, man. Number of stars, number of mics, man, it's Rand. It's Big Ghost LTD. It's high level, upper echelon hip hop, man. Enjoy it. Take it out. I'm riding my bike to it. You might want to ride to it. You might want to lift some weights to it. Just enjoy it, man. Hey, let me get on out of here, man. Remember, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Hope I got that right. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm out. 1.